He just waved.
Okay, we will open our October 9th Board of Trustees Electric, Water, and Communication Utilities meeting. And roll call.
Selgrade.
Present.
White.
Present.
Smith. Rosca.
Yes.
Voights.
Yes.
Thank you.
Is that better? Okay. Okay, we'll move on now to public comment. If anyone would like to stand, but seeing none, I guess we'll go on to the consent agenda. For approval of claims, approval of minutes of the prior meetings, and the August financial report. Could I have a motion?
So move. Second.
Let's see. Is that roll call?
Discussion? Yeah.
That is roll call?
Unless there's no discussion.
Oh, does anybody have any discussion?
Good. Roll call.
Well, Chris apparently has something.
Well,
Oh,
Doug
Doug's
does?
here to present.
We're
the
inviting
financial
Doug up to
report.
the financial report.
Sorry.
Madam Chair, trustees, the report that's in front of you is for the 2 months ended August 31st. So if under the revenues it's more than 16%, that's a good thing. And under the expenses, if it's more than or less than 16%, that's a good thing. As I said, it was just a 2-month report. Nothing really to report other than Chris sort of added what I would call another footnote, and the footnote is about this is now a modified cash basis, which means that if you were to try to compare last year's numbers in August with this year's has depreciation in it. Last year's did not. So I'm probably the only one screwy enough to try to do that. But anyway, that's my report for this evening.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for Doug?
Just, Chris, I think it'd be good to add, what the rationale is for the adding the depreciation. Really what I'm getting at is that's a good thing, that you're getting more and more
Yes.
on the accrual basis.
Yes, so this last year, we spent some time getting all of our capital assets into the system. Previously, we would hand the auditors a list of all of our assets and additions for the year, and they would use their system or their calculations to do the depreciation. We now have that all in the Elation system, and we're calculating those monthly, so that has become part of the expenses, and just one more step to becoming a full accrual basis.
That's outstanding.
Thank you. When will that happen? Is there do we have a timeline? Do we have a goal?
It's already happened.
Oh,
we've got all of our capital assets in the system.
That was like the last thing?
No, it's probably under the current scenario, we're never going to be full accrual, just given the fact that there's a lot of the reporting that the city does on a cash basis, and so there's lots of that activity that we need to hand them on a cash basis. Where capital assets normally just go directly to the balance sheet, we've got to provide them the, expenditure portion of it. This is probably as close as we can get to accrual and still retain a lot of good information.
So because of that, then we're still kind of doing 2 sets of books, kind of?
Yeah. Yes.
But just on a handful of things, right, that relate to the city.
Correct, yeah. So we do it for a handful of city reports, but we're going to have to keep our toes in both, ponds here.
Do we know when is the city going to ever go to what we're doing?
I don't know that it's on their radar.
Oh. Okay, any other questions? Okay, Monica, roll call, please.
Yes. White.
Yes.
Smith. Rosca.
Yes.
Voights.
Yes.
And Selgrade.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we'll go into electric utility informational items. Mike?
Yep. So we continue to work on downtown square. We're in the west alley, got conduit ducts along the south side of the parking lot, and we'll continue once they move forward on the north-south part of the west alley. And then we're also this week be finishing up on the north alley where we're setting actual secondary equipment and streetlight poles, that type of stuff, everything that'll be above ground to
Which
finish
alley are you
that up.
talking about, Mike?
What's that?
Which alley are you talking about?
So that's on the north alley.
Okay.
Yeah, it's getting really close to being opened up.
I'm sorry, I thought you were on the west side.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, I was,
They
and then I
were.
moved to the north.
All right.
Gotta be quick.
Yeah. So yeah, it's moving, everything's moving along, well there. And then just one last thing, just kind of put it on the radar, be bringing to you, here, I don't know, it probably won't be the next meeting, maybe the one after that, but we're looking or demoing, skid steers right now, track mounted skid steers to replace the one we currently have, so we'll have that.
How old is that existing one?
It's a 2011.
Used quite a bit?
Oh, yeah.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay. Any questions, discussion? Okay. Thank you, Mike. Water utility. Lester?
Yeah, I don't have a lot to report either. Working on the west side of the square. Hopefully the north half of the west side, weather permitting, they'll transfer water services. Hopefully Wednesday. If not, probably not till the first of next week, but again, depending on weather. Again, May breaks, we're still fighting those, so we're averaging 1 to 2 a week, and that's keeping us busy, plus restoration on the previous ones we've had, so yeah, that's all I have.
Okay. Questions? Okay. Now we'll go into a communications utility action item. Does anybody want to say anything about this before I start in for the public hearing or anything?
Yep, continue through.
Okay. Let's see. I'll open the public hearing regarding the plans, specifications, form of contract, and estimate of costs of the NOFA 7 Phase 2 project. Not seeing anyone, so I will close the public hearing for the same. Okay, do I have to do a first and second, can I do that all together or one at a time? Okay. First and second for the resolution approving the plans, specifications, form of contract, and estimate of costs for the NOFA 7 Phase 2 project.
So moved.
Okay, discussion or?
You want me to give a brief? Yeah, NOFA 7 Phase 2, this will complete the northern census area and continue to expand the 3 southern census areas. Approximately 20,000 foot of distribution construction, 6,000 remains up to the north, and the other 14,000 be the south. Engineer's estimate of the cost is $338,180.50.
Questions, discussion? Roll call.
Roscoe,
Yes.
Voight,
Yes.
Celebrate,
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to the resolution awarding a contract for the NOFA 7 Phase 2 project. First and second?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, discussion or?
Yep, we received 6 bids for this project by the September 15th deadline. 3 were above the engineer's estimate, 3 were below, so we feel like the estimate was right there where it needed to be. Ranges were anywhere between $220,000 and $487,000. Newcom has reviewed the bids and has determined that Hoffman Communications is the lowest responsible bidder on the project and recommends the project be awarded to them for the amount of $220,848.80. And this is $117,331.70 below the estimate. So, and I would also recommend that as well.
So, Kurt, in the packet, I didn't see
Yep.
any documentation of the other bids that were.
We haven't historically put the bid tabulation in there. I do have them if you want to see them though. So, yeah. So,
I like the end result. I'm
Yep.
fine with that, so.
yeah. And we got 6 bids. We're done real well bidding these out, the kind of late fall projects. We've had good luck the last 2 years doing that. So,
So who won the bid then?
Hoffman Communications
Have
out
we
of
worked with them before?
Mike's worked with them quite a little bit, yeah,
Yeah.
out of Shannon City, Iowa, so,
Okay.
yep, so.
So first time on the fiber side?
First time on the fiber side, yep. Murphy was second lowest this time, so yeah, we have two good local bids, so.
Okay, Monica? Boyd?
Yes.
Selkirk?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Roscoe?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, and now for the last, let's see, the resolution approving the contract and bond for the NOFA 7 Phase 2 project.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay,
Yep, Hoffman Communications has provided the signed contracts, I got the performance bond here, certificate of liability, so everything is in place for the contract to be signed. Talked to him today, and he's anxious to get going, work will likely be going on Wednesday if the weather cooperates.
Oh, really?
Yep, he's ready to go.
Wow.
Good.
Excellent.
So,
great. Okay. Monica?
Selkirk?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Roscoe?
Yes.
Boyd?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right.
Got nice to have something come under budget.
my norm do, so.
Okay, we'll move on to a resolution to approve an amended and restated agreement under Iowa Code Chapter 28E between Waverly Communications Utility, the Municipal Communications Utility of the City of Cedar Falls, the Communications Utility of Bellevue, Iowa, Indianola Municipal Utilities, Benton Municipal Communications Utility, City of Pella Municipal Telecommunications Utility, New Hampton Municipal Communications Utility, and Waterloo Telecommunications Utility, providing for joint ownership and use of certain facilities and related matters.
Mouthful.
Okay, can I have
So
a
moved.
motion?
Second.
Okay, any discussion or,
If Waterloo has agreed and signed documents to share in the joint ownership of the IPTV system, so it's something we've been waiting here for the last year, so it finally got done. Otherwise, this contract is the same except for one change, just with so many members now, we all had different three-year deadlines when we renewed our contracts. So in order to make all this easier, we did change that everybody would go under the same agreement effective time. So this agreement would be good until October 11th of 2026 for everybody. So there is a one-year opt-out on this, so if we were to ever elect to get out of TV, we would need to notify them by October 11th of 2025. So, but other than that, the contract is the same it has been over the past few years.
So it's a 3-year.
3 years.
Yeah, and that's what it was previously.
It was before, but everybody had
We're
their
just
own little
lining
3
everybody
years.
up.
Yeah, we're just lining everybody up, so, yeah.
And New Hampton's been in there? I didn't remember them.
Yep,
Okay.
yep. So,
okay, anything else? Monica?
Yes. White?
Yes.
Roscoe?
Yes.
Boyd?
Yes.
Selkirk?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go on to a resolution to approve an amended and restated agreement under Iowa Code Chapter 28E between Waverly Communications Utility, the Municipal Communications Utility of the City of Cedar Falls, the Communications Utility of Bellevue, Iowa, Indianola Municipal Utilities, Benton Municipal Communications Utility, City of Pella Municipal Telecommunications Utility, New Hampton Municipal Communications Utility, and Waterloo Telecommunications Utility regarding financial arrangements. Discussion. And don't ask me to read it again.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Monica?
Yes. Roscoe?
Yes.
Boyd?
Yes.
Selkirk?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, on to communications utility informational items.
Yep, I'll keep this short since I was long on all the rest. So, just so you all know that Waterloo is contributing $432,775, of which $73,347 is coming back to us on that financial agreement. So, so this partnership has worked out well. We went with Benton coming on board and Pella coming on board. We've got dollars back quite a few times, so it's making it nice. Plus,
Waterloo will be taking about 43% of the maintenance costs, so I expect to see probably a $10,000 savings there once they fire the stuff up and get going, so that'll also help going forward as well.
That might answer my question, but on an ongoing operating basis, I was
Yep.
gonna ask how much our savings is.
Yeah, I think that I haven't seen a final numbers, but from the way the percentages look like, yeah, I'm guessing about 10 to 12,000 a year, so, yeah. So it'll help. And then the only other thing I've got on that is we did today finally begin installing rural customers up in the North NOFA 7 census area. We hooked up 5 customers today, and I think we've got 2-3 more left to go this week. So we're making progress there. So,
Good.
Yep.
How did those go?
Went well. Yeah, went fine. So.
And we're doing that ourselves.
CheckLink is helping us put in the drops, but then after that we're doing all the splicing and all that stuff, and all the install. Yeah, we're definitely doing that. So, yep.
I was hoping we were using our cloud.
So. Not on these, but yeah.
We bought.
Okay. We'll go next to combined electric, water, and communications informational items. Chris?
All right, Alicia and some of her staff went to innovative training last week, the user updating forum, so they got back, lots of good information. Out of that and a couple of the upgrades, we do have some innovative staff people coming for an on-site training with us this week, the 18th and 19th, sorry, that'll be next week. You know, out of a couple of upgrades and some issues we've run into there, they think they can come and kind of smooth out some of our processes. So we're looking forward, and all the utilities are going to have somebody kind of there to help. This is really kind of surrounding the metered utilities, hoping to make better use of some of the changes that and updates that Innovative has done.
So it's part of our contract with Innovative that they have so much time that they.
No, this one is something that we asked for strongly. We didn't pay for this. They're going to do this at no cost. We ran into some trouble following some upgrades, and after some conversations with them, they thought it would be best if they came down and not charged us for the normal rate for coming down and help us sort out some of the new upgrades.
For the billing part of it, though,
Yep.
did you get that straightened out then?
That's what this is.
Oh, that's what this is going to be?
Yep.
Okay.
Are we having billing issues?
It's taken a lot of work to make sure we don't have billing issues, but some of the upgrades that we've been talking about, some of their software changes in the past, have made it more difficult on, the people that look at highs and lows are some of the water staff that kind of take charge of that. They removed some of what we'd used in the past, making that analysis more difficult.
That's a different process.
Yeah, so the process is different. There's less information. We had relied on a single source of data where, the electric guys are looking for the same spreadsheet, and common pool of data. They've gone to a method that requires lots more reports and has been more clunky and required more manual intervention. And, my argument to them is, we had a pool of data, and now we've got to do a lot of manual work to recreate what we used to have. They're going to come down and help us with that next week and hopefully smooth out some of those.
Yeah, make sure you let us know how it goes, because that's some of it's going backwards. I thought all the nations was to make studies.
Wednesday, have some IAMU training in Ankeny, and so just a municipal law update. So hopefully have some more information, maybe some changes or stuff to look out for in the future. And my last item is just a notification. I know I've talked with some of you. The council at their last meeting voted for the Board of Trustees salaries to be adjusted. going from the current rate of $1,000 per year to what has been currently approved and is in the 3-reading process. So it's not final and formally approved yet, but the amount that the council had voted their first reading thus far was $3,250. I know a couple of you had some questions, comments, concerns, and we haven't had this will be our first opportunity to discuss that. So kind of for that, Deb, if you wanted to lead that off.
Okay, I went to the council meeting and watched as they passed it. I just had found out about it, and I think Chris had just found out about it Friday before the council meeting. And I was in Hobby Lobby, so it was kind of hard to digest it all. But anyway, and I listened to the council and everything, but when it was all said and done, I just feel like I would rather keep me personally, I don't particularly, I came on this as a volunteer pretty much, and I just don't feel like it's necessary. The 16,000, I feel like I would just as soon keep it in the coffers to use on whatever we might need for.
16,000 is not the additional cost for all 5 of us.
That's not
Right.
the additional cost is $11,250.
So the total is 16,000.
The increase is $11,250.
Oh, well, yeah,
But,
yeah, sorry.
no, that's okay.
But, I mean, it's nice to feel appreciated, and, me personally, the thing with the why, that would be very much appreciated. But as far as monetary, I just am not, it's no big deal to me.
Yeah, and sorry, you mentioned the why. I'll just jump in. One of the things that I didn't mention also in that, or coming up in the next vote that'll happen on the 24th or 25th with the last vote, is the council is going to, or the proposal is to add the single or part-time benefit to all the council and trustees. So each one of you would be given the opportunity to get a single membership at the Indianola Wellness Center. So
I'm getting it all.
Huh? You did say what I thought you said. Yes, we are.
So what I'm hearing though is that there wasn't really any communication with either Chris or anybody on the board,
Well,
like Lori or somebody about this.
The first we heard about it was Thursday or Friday morning.
Yep.
Mid-morning or late morning, I don't know exactly what time it was. So, I don't know, that's just my feelings toward it. And I don't know exactly how this works. Once they pass the resolution, I'm assuming Ben is kind of here to explain that part. We have the option, I think, to say, no, thanks, but no thanks. But I will turn it over to Ben.
And before I turn it over to Ben, so 2 questions that
Sure.
I'm interested in hearing answers to is, I think it doesn't go into effect until January 25? It is 4, okay, so in January. And then, just trying to understand how the city council has oversight over our compensation as opposed to us having oversight over our compensation. I don't know how that works. That's the first time we've addressed that, so I'm just curious more than anything.
Proceed.
All right, I didn't want to interrupt at all. First and foremost, we want to thank you for your service and the great service that you provide to our community. It goes without saying that the time that you put forth away from your families should and needs to be recognized to cover your costs and for the fact that it is a sacrifice. And in all reality, you haven't seen this before because it's been 3 decades since you've received a salary increase, and so it's been 3 decades since the council has received the same. So much so that there's 2 real factors that led to this. And I have a memo that I included in the council packet that you're welcome to have a copy of. But it became a little bit expedited in its time frame because I didn't understand the laws of Iowa. So I do apologize for that. But there's two things that really has initiated this process. The first was the salary survey and the compensation plan that the city conducted earlier in the year. That was one of the 5 main goals of the city, is to make sure that our staff, as well as our council and our members of the Board of Trustees, have adequate compensation compared to our peer communities. And the average of all the other peer communities for the mayor is $10,245, for which we are paying our mayor $6,000, and for the councils was $5,906, for which our council is being paid $1,800. And so we recognize that not everybody is in a situation where you need to be compensated, and many of our elected leaders choose to give that money back once you receive it and make donations to whatever appropriate charity that you might want, or to directly to IMU or to the city, and that's totally your decision and how you do that. Or if you receive and keep that remuneration, it is really a remuneration for your time and cost associated with the service that you perform. It is your compensation appropriately so. The second thing is the fact that the YMCA converted to become the Indianola Wellness Campus, for which the IMU employees and the city employees do receive that now as a wellness benefit. Part-time employees receive a single membership, and full-time employees receive a family membership in its simplest form. You being part-time employees would be then entitled to that membership. As a change to your compensation, it is a taxable benefit, meaning you are receiving it, and it shows up on your W-2 at the end of the year, for which there's a taxable benefit. Where it's a monthly, switching to a monthly instead of a quarterly payroll makes more sense, or bi-weekly, however you decide you want to administer your payroll. But having that correspond instead of being quarterly, and having adequate compensation to match and take care of that helps to take care of that as well. As far as the timing and the notice, we had council members reach out about providing this wellness benefit, and they had indicated to us the desire from at least one or more of the members of the Board of Trustees to having an Indianola Wellness benefit applied to you as well. And so we started the discussions about that and kind of rolled into this process, wanting to look at it holistically. Ultimately, the council has decided to be at the average amount and set that compensation. For the IMU board, it could take place immediately because you're not voting on it yourselves. For the city council by state code, it's at the next election, so January of 2024. For the mayor, it's at the next term. Those are all pursuant to state code requirements. So Mayor Erickson would not receive this benefit until a second term if she so chose to run, or the next mayor would receive it at that time. I didn't realize at the time that it needed to be passed by resolution, or by ordinance, not by resolution. Hence, it needed 3 readings. And I didn't realize that the city of Indianola has a requirement that it can't be passed in November or December. And so if it were to take effect in the month of January, it would have to be approved in the month of October, and with 3 readings, and it wouldn't be appropriate to waive those second and third readings. We had to expedite the schedule. So any lack of communication, I apologize for. I've been at a couple of conferences. I have a wedding coming up, and I just relocated into your lovely building here, fairly close to your current facility. So it's been a little crazy for me, but I do appreciate working with Chris on the compensation and the IRS issues and making sure that the needs of the IMU employees as well as the city employees were taken care of. The last thing I probably want to say is the reason why the council, it's maybe just a pleasant reminder that the IMU is wholly owned by the city of Indianola. Your budgets get rolled into our budgets. Your assets are actually city of Indianola assets. And so the council actually has authority over your compensation and wanted to make sure that your compensation proportionally increased similar to their proportional increases so that it all ties together with our competitive cities out there, making sure that you are adequately covered. So it's one of those things where it is not technically approved until the third reading. If you want to politic with the elected leaders, you certainly can. But we just want to say thank you for the service you provide. And this is what you do with it once you receive it is your choice. It's not on your agendas because it is something that the council would vote on. Is there any questions, or did I miss anything at all?
So you're saying then that we have to take this? It's going to be it's going to be taxed to us no matter what?
So again, I'm still learning the laws of the state of Iowa, but in Utah, yes, it would have been 100%. It would have been something that it is now yours if it's your compensation, whether you choose to give that back or have something to make some kind of donation, or that's your choice individually. And I just say that you in your situations right now may not need this additional funding, but we want to make sure that your successors, no matter their financial situations, are such that if they stepped away from their families and their time, you want to make sure that they're adequately compensated. They might be missing overtime, they might be missing time away, and so having a salary that matches and is commensurate with the duties performed by other cities, similar to what you perform for us. This is a change to make sure that 3 decades don't go by without any kind of a change. In the future, one other provision I forgot to mention is that it would now have a cost of living factor put into it. So each year it would go up by the cost of living for the region for which we're...
Yeah, the Midwest.
Midwest
we
region.
specifically use the Midwest CPIU inflationary factor.
So that...
So the Bureau of Labor Statistics publishes that annually on a monthly basis and provides a 12-month rolling average. The following January of 2025, also in this would be that whatever that January 12-month rolling average would get applied to your salary.
Never so small change.
Yep.
Yep.
So we really don't get a say about this, is what you're telling us.
You do personally. Collectively, likely
No,
not.
that's not what I said, though. In the decision.
Well, again, I know that individual members or a member or members reached out to council members, and that's why it kind of got rolled together. And if there's any lack of communication, I take full responsibility.
Don't spend it all in one place.
In all reality, the amount set for the compensation 30 years ago, this just brings you current to cost of living today. Each and every year you had your effective buying power, the money that we've given you has been less and less and less and less. This just brings you back to that.
I understand what you're saying, Dan, but as far as the public, for IMU, I'm not talking about council now, I'm strictly talking about IMU. It's just not a good look, I don't feel like, at this point, because of the economy and everything else. And hopefully we're not going to raise rates this year. I don't think we are, but I don't know.
Well,
just
and
my
that's
thought.
why we wanted to make sure we did it open and public with 3 readings and all of that as well. In fact, we were the last city, Carlisle and Norwalk has both increased theirs, and most of the neighboring communities that we compare to, which include a lot of the communities up north, are all going through a series of changes. Indianola was one of the very last.
Well, I understand that, but I'm just saying, I mean, there's really nothing to discuss. I mean, you're just saying that it's going to happen.
Well, like I said, when I first came on the board, I asked, because I didn't know you got anything. And I asked, and I don't remember who I asked, probably Roxanne, anyway, about that, because I just like to say it's unnecessary, and I was told I don't have choice.
That hasn't changed.
Well,
It's the same thing I was told, like when I joined a year and a half
Yeah.
ago.
So,
But, you know, pay it forward, do good things with those dollars, and that's your.
yeah, some of our spouses want us to be gone, so.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like this, they'd probably pay me.
I might fit in
They'd
that
probably pay you guys.
category. So, did you have any questions with me about it? And I appreciate Chris inviting me to be here tonight to be able to share the why behind it and all this.
Thanks, Ben.
Thank you for all you do.
Okay, anything else?
That's all for me.
Okay. Anybody else have anything else to say or discuss?
You'll give us an update then, and maybe I already asked this, but after we get this new training, as far as the, I just appreciate an update on that, it's just kind of how things went.
Yep.
Okay, then I will take a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Oh, yeah. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
My wife.